Yo, this is Big Jake signing in. Happy holidays, everyone. Everyone, here's a story about the holidays, but it's going to have a lot of action. Sit back and relax, because this is about a kid who helps fight crime and saves in the entire Christmas. Once there was a boy, African American, and 8 years old, who was adopted by a white family. You see, his mom abandoned him when he was just a baby, and he was living in that orphanage for 8 years. But then this white family adopted him, and they treated him like family. Every Christmas and every other holiday, they had a blast, you know. Oh, Valentine's Day was lovely. March, St. Patrick's Day they were like kind of pinchy. April, it was Easter. They ate a lot of candy. May, Mother's Day. May was Father's Day. They both had brunches. And July, the 4th of July, they shot off fireworks. And August, they always splashed in the pool because the sun was hotter than ever. September, it was a Labor Day. They worked hard to keep their house clean. In October, they went trick-or-treating and ate a lot. And every Thanksgiving, they ate a lot of turkey, ham, and stuff. But they loved Christmas the most because Christmas was the day that young man got adopted. It was a great Christmas present. But the young man named Amos didn't know it yet. So around the time he was like 13 years old, his birthday is in December the 14th. His birthday's December the 14th, and his parents celebrated their birthday day. And they've been keeping it secret from him for a long time, but finally they decided to tell him that he was adopted. But guess what? Amos already knew that, and he didn't care about it. He simply said, even though actually, I thought there was a reason I was in that orphanage, and it's probably that my mom or my dad didn't want anything to do with me. But however the case may be, I simply choose to live my life and just go on to doing what I was doing. Besides, I have you two, and you guys are my real family now. So, who cares about all that stuff? That made the parents really happy, and they went on with their lives. And Amos has a white friend that's kind of like a cow, that likes to act like a cowboy and stuff and loves to cook, named Peter. So, the young Amos was just having fun with his family, decorating the house and the trees and all that stuff. Just having fun. Until one night, 4 days before Christmas, a man named Ashton kind of put him to sleep with sleep gas and drove him away in his car. By the time Amos woke up, Ashton was in the car. He was in someone's house, Ashton's house, He was in Ashton's house. And he was all tied up. He was struggling to get free, but it was useless. Then Ashton said, "Be quiet. I want your mother. I want to know where she is." But Amos didn't know where she is, so he couldn't give him a clear answer. So Ashton forced him to go out into the streets and look for her. At first, Amos refused, but Ashton threatened to kill his family. So Amos had no choice. So he went out on the streets. And plus he had none to eat, and he was starving. So with his starving self, he went out. The parents were frantic and worried. They called the police and everything. But every time the police got close to finding Amos, Ashton chased them away. Kept him away long enough. And so, finally, Amos runs into a young man and a young lady. A guy named Rodney and his girl Jeremy. A boy named Rodney and his girlfriend Susie. They could see that he was very hungry, so they took him to his place and fed him lots of food. Amos was just so hungry that he ate like 3 plates. They asked him what he was doing out in the snow. At first, he refused to answer, but they were very insistent that he tell him. So Amos explained the whole story. And then after hearing the story, he realized that he recognized him. Amos actually had 2 twin brothers. There's named Rodney and Jeremy. Susie and Angelica were their girlfriends. And so Amos decided that he couldn't put them in danger, so he decides to walk away. But then Jeremy says, "Wait. Take her with you. She'll take care of you and everything, and keep this tracking device on yourself." And if you want to find Mom, which I strongly advise you don't, please take this and this. And so Amos takes him up on it. And takes the girl named Eileen with him. And Eileen, every time Amos wants to eat something, she paid for it and kept Amos hidden so Ashton wouldn't know. 3 days on Christmas Eve, he finally finds his mother. And his mother is like way on drugs. She was She was all drinking and smoking and stuff. Uh, and all she ever ate was apples. And she had a roommate that's also drinking and stuff. So Amos spent a few hours there. And she said, and finally, after a little while, Amos asked, "Why did you leave me at the orphanage?" He asked that. He said, if I ever wanted an unwanted child, do you think I ever would have left him at the orphanage? I had 3 unwanted ones. I never even wanted to be a mother in the first place. That really hurt Amistad. Finally, there was a laugh, and she was about to slap Amistad around, and then finally there was a loud crash. Aston jumped in. Aston screamed, "You came to my house and tried to kill my family. You came to my house. You killed my wife. You injured my children, and now I'm spending Christmas all alone this year." And it was a and things really went down. They were all fighting and punching each other. There, and they were getting. They were all just pounding the tar out of each other, punching each other in the face, in the gut, uppercut, everywhere. Her. Then after Ashton knocked her to the ground, he said, "I don't need you anymore. You can go on home." That's what he told Amos. Yes. And just as Amos was leaving home, the mother got up and was about to shoot Amos in the head. And Amos was frozen with fear until finally Eileen busted in with the police. With a blink of an eye, the three bad guys got arrested and took into jail. And finally, the police came. And finally, the police came and took Amos back home. The parents smothered Amos with love and tears. And they said they were so worried and never to scare them like that again. We know that those bad guys were evil. We know those bad guys were all that. It was guys were around. We tried to keep them away from you, but it was a hopeless situation because that man just wanted to find your mother for taking his Christmas away from him. His mom, his wife dead, his kids in the hospital, his kids all the way at his mom's house. Oh my God. Because that man is like a criminal. No, that has a rivalry with. Because that man is a criminal who's in a rivalry with your mom. But it's all over now. We'll be moving to New York, out of this crazy neighborhood. out of this crazy town, out of this crazy environment. Amos was really happy and surprised all at the same time. He said he was um, they're going to be moving to a penthouse and everything house in New York City. And finally, Amos was happy because his father's company was moving out of that forsaken town, and which is in L.A. And so finally, they sat down. They sat down to Christmas dinner. Amos was so hungry, and couldn't wait to eat his mom's home cooking. And couldn't wait to eat his mom's home cooking, the foster moms. And so Amos was about to sit down to eat, and when there was a knock at the door, Amos went to get in, and it was his two brothers and his girlfriends. And they said that we're so happy that you were able to make it home. We paid Eileen for her troubles, and we decided to come and check on you. We just want you to know that you're welcome to come to our house anytime. We told our girlfriends that we were adopted and everything, and all the situations we had with mom, and they were very supportive. They were actually very supportive. They want to stay with me forever. They want to stay with us forever. Yeah. Well, would you like to come in for Christmas dinner? I would. I already. Hey. Come on, bro. Christmas is the day where you're supposed to eat a lot. Amos was very insistent. So the brothers came in, and they ate a lot. And they ate a lot of food, and they partied. Until finally it was time for the brothers and their girlfriends to go back home. Fine. Before they went home, they sung Christmas carols. And so Amos lets his brothers go before giving him a hug. Amos gives his brothers a hug and lets them go. Before Amos walked in the door, he said, "Hey brothers, you ever been to New York?" The brothers said no, but they've always wanted to go. "What if I sent you a ticket?" said Amos. "Will you come?" The brothers said they could buy their own tickets. All they needed was an invitation. They got one. They got one. Thank you. All right, Amos said. So before Amos walked into the house, so the brothers turned them around and said, "Hey, bro, yeah? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, brothers." And before Eileen jumped into the car, she looked at Amos and smiled at him. And blushed. Amos did the same. Then Christmas morning came. Amos went down to open presents with his family and ate Christmas breakfast. And he got just everything he wanted for Christmas. a video game system, his first ever iPhone, anything you could dream of. The next day, he moved to New York. New York. The next day, he moved to New York into a penthouse and has a great view, and now has a great view of the city. And his brothers, and that girl Eileen, they come visit every Christmas. And that, my friends, is the story of the Christmas hunting kid. Of the Christmas hunting kid. The end. Hit subscribe if you want to hear more stories. And remember, create social unity, because that's what the world needs. Let's teach our young people the right way to go. Let's teach our kids the right way to go. Merry Christmas. This is Big Jake signing off. Peace out, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays.